my friend might think somewhere in her mind, she might not say it out.
Of course.
That either we were doing something behind her.
Exactly.
Or
that kind of analogy would probably just make her feel like, okay, all right, let me not tell her anything, because maybe there's also another dynamic to their friendship that we don't know about. You're watching Heart Bits, where we talk love, sex, relationships, and every fun thing in between. Yeah. And today I have with me the lovely Rachel, so beautiful, so beautiful.
Let me flog myself a bit.
She looks like Elsa from Frozen, the movie. I don't know, because of the blondie hair, kind of like Africa, like the African version of Elsa, yeah. Are you an ice queen? Would you say you're the ice queen?
No, I am not.
You sure?
I'm the fire queen.
Well, it matches your hair, actually. She's the fire queen. She's sizzling hot. Ooh. That's nice. I like it. So here, I have a question for you. Now, this question was kind of like...
questions then.
Yes.
My heart is doing kukumu.
You have to what?
Beating, no, my heart is doing kukumu. But go ahead, I'm here to answer, man.
Okay. So this is a question that is like a, it's a kind of a awkwardish kind of question. So you have a friend that's like a really, really close friend of yours, and she's been dating this guy that is kind of like a friend of your friend group as well for maybe like 4 or 5 years or whatever. And then the year that herself and this person break up, you and this guy start hanging out, start to catch feelings. Would you jump into a relationship with that guy?
First of all, is the girl my friend?
Yep,
like my close friend?
Yep, like one of your closest friends. Like she's like a sister to you, and her boyfriend is kind of like a brother to you.
What am I doing hanging out with her boyfriend or her ex-boyfriend?
The circumstances are said, because it was thrown out there, the question was said that it was like, it wasn't a planned thing. It was more like, oh, we're just hanging out, or like, me and your best friend, one of your best friend broke up like 6 months ago. I traveled and I came back and we were hanging out and we started to talk. And things that I couldn't probably tell you when I was like your friend's girlfriend. I'm free to just open up to a friend, and somehow you guys kind of click. Would you jump into that relationship when you know you started to catch feelings for this person?
First of all, I can never catch feelings for that person.
Emotional, damn it!
Because so long as you were dating my friend and then you guys broke up for whatever reason, I'm going to side with my friend, first of all.
Okay.
So it might not be like a physical fight or whatever, but once you leave her life, you leave mine too. It doesn't mean we are enemies, but... like that opportunity of something bringing us together to now start forming one kind of closeness cannot happen.
Okay. So
there was one instance that something similar happened. I think I was a teenager. My friend was dating this very stupid boy. Who the fineness that he was fine then was entering his head. And then I know I don't know whether they were having issues or something, I don't know, but then suddenly the guy started telling me he likes me. And in my head, I'm like, this guy must be stupid. Because whether you've broken up or you've not broken up or whatever, like I am not interested in that circle. Then, because you really can't... So if for whatever reason I decide to start dating my friend's ex, my friend might think somewhere in her mind, she might not say it out.
Of course.
That either we were doing something behind her.
Exactly.
Or I had feelings for the guy, but because she was with him, I couldn't work on that feeling.
Exactly.
So I don't think I want to put myself in that space. So no, I cannot date my friend's ex.
But what are the perspectives of like a person who genuinely didn't even realize that they would have been catching feelings for their friend, but it just happened? Because it actually can happen like that.
For your friend's ex or your friend's boyfriend?
For the friend's ex, obviously. Like, okay, so it's a no when the person is still in a relationship with a friend and you're hanging out with him and looking, because everything is in the mind, though. In my own place. Okay, so the only
scenario where I feel like that might play out and it might not be so bad is, for example, if we were all friends before you people started dating. So let's assume we're like a group of 10 friends, say 5 guys and 5 girls, and then somehow one of the guys started dating my friend. Now, remember that we were all friends before the whole dating thing started.
Right.
So if for whatever reason they break up,
it's just like...
the friendship would remain because it was there, before the whole relationship.
Right, exactly.
So it will still be hard, but let me just, so if for whatever reason I decide to say give the other person a shot, which is, I don't know how that will happen, but I feel like that's more forgivable or more
Understandable.
yes, than I was the one who introduced you to this guy as my boyfriend, and then we broke up, and then 2 years down the line, I'm seeing you people catching feelings. What foolish nonsense feeling is that?
Actually, I can understand where that is coming from, because the thing about it is that realistically, right, when you consider it and then you start actually really asking questions, you now realize that it's actually one of the former ones that you were saying, that okay, somebody was catching feelings before or they were like looking at themselves or something was happening. But there are some perspectives where it's like this person was this person's boyfriend for the period, and you got to meet this person, but you only interacted with them as just friends because that's all you saw them as. And then when the relationship ends and it's like, okay, or maybe 6 months has elapsed and you guys are hanging out, and you start to realize, because it's not like it's like over a process of months that you take to fall for somebody. It can happen in the blink of an eye, and you're like, well, I think I want to be with you, right? Like, so if you're like, if I'm looking at you with fresh eyes, like, okay, there's this side of you that I didn't see because I didn't even give myself the chance to look at you that way, because it was it was cut off. It was like a no. So, but now you're free, and we are, because I'm also the kind of person that'll probably say, are you sure you don't want to get back with this person? You're sure this person is not the love of your life, and blah blah blah.
So in this case, the last resort would be to ask my friend for consent.
Exactly.
That would be the last resort.
It's kind of like the respectful thing to do.
That's a respectful thing to do.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like,
so if for whatever reason the chemistry that is in two of you's head does not want to have sense, and you have to be with this person, I feel maybe the last resort is to ask your friend, that is it okay if I go ahead to date this person? But funny thing is, some friends will tell you yes, but in their mind they're actually
saying no.
Yes.
And also, there's this gist that I remember seeing on social media a few months back, or maybe it's probably an old gist, but the story was that there was this girl that was very, very close to some other girl. They were in school, and then she travels to the UK to further school. She's still talking to this other girl. Then this one's boyfriend actually moves to the UK. Of course, they all knew themselves when they were here. Then things begin to happen between this girl and her boyfriend, but it had nothing to do with this other girl.
Yes.
But eventually, he breaks up with her.
Oh.
This girl is telling the girl in the UK that, they've broken up, and she's always trying to console her and all that stuff like that. Now, 8 months later, the guy, the ex, and herself, they start dating.
Right.
But she never told
her friend.
So she felt like, now she was trying to defend herself when the story eventually came out, because obviously when they were going to get married, she had waited too long, so she had this thing, so she had to eventually send the card out. And so this other girl was like, wait, when did you start dating this guy? And she's like, no, it was like 8 months or almost a year after you guys broke up. It's like, fine. So when you knew that you were going to start dating him, it didn't occur to you to mention it. And the girl actually was saying that the reason why she didn't mention it was because she felt that, this person has moved on. You've almost been healing from the heartbreak, and it would just hurt you afresh to know that the guy that you're almost getting over, I'm now the one that is in love, that he's in love with me. And it was, and when you lay that stuff out, the dilemma is kind of like a complicated one, because you can see from this person's, the girl in Nigeria, her perspective, and you can also see from the girl in the UK, her perspective. Because to me, I feel like it would have been really hurtful to just tell this girl that me and your guy are hanging out. Well, especially when this other girl was constantly talking about how heartbroken.
If you feel it's bad, that means it is bad. So why do it? For her not to have been able to tell her friend is because she feels like what she's doing is wrong.
Okay, let me ask you this. If she was trying to save her friend from feeling hurt by learning that
is already hurt. Like, how hurt can she actually get?
She would lose that friendship, because that friend.
Well, at least so if you lose a friendship, you would be with this person with an open mind of that. Okay, I told my friend, she got angry, and if it's a friend that genuinely likes you, she might come around and be like, okay, at least she told me before she started. See, it's so hard when somebody finds out something from a third party. Unlike when they find
Or
out
they find
from-
out like later on.
So it's better you just tell them and say, see, this is how this, and then you can even explain and try to make the person understand and see reasons from your own angle.
Yeah, because I feel
But
like it took too long.
It took too long.
For instance, if the girl, the reason why I said I could understand in the beginning when she couldn't tell her friend was like, this person calls you all the time. You guys are always FaceTiming, like your best friend, your sisters. You're always talking. But for some reason, the person, it just, whatever was going on between herself and her guy, it wasn't working out, and they didn't. She had nothing to do with it. They had already broken up in
Yes, I guess.
So the guy moves to the UK, to where she is in London, from wherever it is where he was, after like 8 months or whatever. So they just bumped into themselves one day, like, long time, me and your person broke up.
I get.
So she was like, this girl is still telling me about this guy, but somehow I just met him and we click, and I'm enjoying hanging out with this person. But I feel like I should. So it's like almost like, okay, if I deprive myself of hanging out with this guy, I would definitely make my friend feel better. But I would deprive myself of the pleasure of having his company. So what if I just enjoy it? I mean, it's probably not gonna last long, so I don't have to tell her the truth. And here's the thing. That kind of analogy would probably just make her feel like, okay, all right, let me not tell her anything, because maybe there's also another dynamic to their friendship that we don't know about. Maybe she needs this girl for something and she doesn't want to just cut that off so that she doesn't lose out. It's still wrong.
Possible.
Yeah, to me, at the end of the day, it's still
wrong.
wrong. Like, she should have been able to say, me and this person are hanging out.
Yes.
But right now, it's just like we're just hanging out. But I don't want you to feel like I was sneaking behind your back or something like that.
Yes.
And then if your friend is too hurt by that and she's like, I don't want to ever speak to you again.
But at least you have told her.
Exactly.
Well, that's my take on that anyway.
Well, I mean, that's our take on that. So let's leave it at that.
Yes.
All right. So like the next question I was gonna ask you is like, this one that is a big issue because Nigerians are very, religious and
Hypocritical, you mean?
church-minded. We're church-minded. So let's say that the love of your life, like the person that you believe, this is my person,
the love of my life, my
yes, the
Valentine.
person that is giving you all the vibes, all the forever together, everything like that.
Okay.
Now you go to church and you pray and everything, and the pastor sees a prophecy or a vision or whatever and says, this person is going to be your downfall, is not the person that you should be with. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with that?
Wow, my pastor. Well, thankfully, the church I attend, my pastor says one thing, and I've heard him say it so many times. He says, or he said, if a pastor or a prophet or an imam or whatever, somebody who is supposed to be a godly figure, tells you, oh, this person you are with is not the right person for you, and you are certain beyond reasonable doubt yourself that this person is who I want to spend my life with, just simply tell the pastor that the God that showed that pastor should also show you. Because at the end of the day, like, I've had so many stories. I'm personally what's the word to use now? Like, this thing has happened to me personally. So your pastor tells you, oh no, don't be with this person. This person is maybe not a Christian, or the person is not as holy as you are, or I saw a vision and God told me that the person would kill you one day, and all of that. Yes, as much as they say listen to your pastor, but I feel like there's some decisions that you have to make by yourself and pray about it. Your pastor, your pastor can do so much.
I feel like a pastor is more like a guide, a spiritual guide, not someone who can dictate your life.
In fact, he shouldn't. But the thing is, a lot of people allow their pastors dictate their life.
Well, I mean, it's kind of difficult to have a relationship with, a personal relationship with God if someone else is actually standing in front of you and telling you this is what. Because to me, right, if somebody says that they saw a vision of my future and it was dark and gloomy and all whatever portents of evil because of the person that I want to be with, like she says, my question is, why can God not show this vision to me myself? Am I not the one that is about to step
Why
into
not to me? Why must it be to a pastor?
Because I feel like that's some kind of manipulation or
Plus, right now, in this time and age, my dear, we don't know who is serving God. Everybody's saying that they're pastors, but we really do not know who is serving God. So your pastor might be telling you he's a pastor, but at night he's doing something else entirely. He's not saying shit. He's just a pastor. Like,
You remember the Nigerian?
colleague.
You remember the Nigerian movies that come to mind when she makes this reference, right?
I have a colleague who says he would open a church soon because he feels like pastors are just cashing out. So he wants to join that bandwagon and cash out his own money. Like,
it's not even okay. Hold on a second. I feel like it's even dumb for somebody to tell you what you should do when it comes to your personal life. Like if you want to do, if you want to
even tell me what to do when it comes to maybe something, maybe like you should dress decently. You should, but not something as important
as intimate
as
and personal
marriage.
as the person I want to choose.
Do you know what I do with this person in the house? Do you know? No, like.
No, but I mean, people that go to church and people who are religious and spiritual, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to seek marriage counseling from your
no.
church
So there's nothing
or
wrong
whatever.
in seeking marriage counseling. In fact, there's nothing wrong in going for marriage counseling. If
Yeah,
you're
it's actually
setting,
good. It's necessary, actually.
Yes, but not that your pastor says that
dictate.
God showed him a vision that if you don't leave this man, you will die in 7 days. Like,
no, I feel like that's some kind of narcissistic.
At the end of the day, you know that
control.
those sisters will now become reverend sisters in church, in quote.
They're always helping,
before you know, they will
serving
now,
the pastor and
so
taking care of the pastor.
let's say they brought someone to the pastor, maybe when they were 27, for example, and the pastor says, "Oh no, I saw a vision. This is not the right person for you." Before you know, they are doing 35, they are doing 38 in church.
And
they are still looking for the right
God
person
to give
that the
them
pastor
the
will
right.
say this is the right person. And then
That's
even
just sad.
if they do get the right person, sometimes the right person ends up being a terrible person who will beat them in the house.
That's not the right person now. They
Well,
just
no, the
got a
pastor
person.
said
The
that is
pastor
the right
now
person.
said that was the right person. Yes, of course.
So the person ends up beating you in the house. The person ends up being manipulative. The person ends up being all sorts of things, all because you're trying to please your pastor. Which doesn't make any sense.
And this actually runs deep. So, but it's basically bottom line. If your heart is telling you, here's where my tidbits are gonna like literally just like grab base onto this, like come out right now. If your heart is in a place where you know what you want, first and foremost, like you're not getting into a relationship with somebody because somebody coerced you or you feel like you're because people know, we all know, like we always say,
actually,
yes,
when you meet somebody that this person, like you connect on all levels with this
and
person,
you know
you
that
will
this is
know.
not just
not the regular
or somebody
jump
just
in and
making
jump
me
out.
say I want to be in a
Yes.
relationship. This
Yes.
is the real thing. And you know, most people complain about the fact that they weren't aware that they were just going along with it, they just went along. No, when you're making that decision that
You would know.
this guy is giving me
would
money,
know.
or this guy is it seems like he's comfortable, or it seems like he's a very nice person, he
Yeah.
just gave me his car to drive around one day, no problem, let's be doing
Or
relationship.
even that this guy is always like calling me, check up on me. Whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Or he's always buying me food, or he's always,
just being nice,
being
or
nice to
doing
me.
those things that would tick that
all
you
the
tick off,
boxes.
yes.
They'll make you feel like, okay, husband material.
Yes.
So you just take that, but then you don't really feel a sense of connection to that person. Like you are taking that step on your own, so you know what you're doing. So first of all, if you're in a place where you connect with someone, absolutely,
on all levels.
believe me, no one else can tell you if you are supposed to be with this person or not.
not.
And guess what? It's possible that they might have some life flaw issues or whatever. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
But as long as they
Nobody's
love you
perfect.
and they're willing to work,
And as long as you love them,
yes,
and you are willing
to grow
with the
them,
person.
then nobody got to tell you what to do.
Nobody.
Exactly. So
Nobody. You just tell the pastor, the same God that showed you,
the vision.
should show me.
So
the
I hope,
vision.
yeah. So this was the question out there. So I hope this question.
Or
has
the
been
best you
answered.
could actually just tell the pastor is, okay, pastor, what you can do for me is just to keep praying.
Yes, I'll marry the
Pray.
person. I'll
Pray.
marry this person.
Yes.
So whatever vision you are
Just
seeing,
keep
pray to
praying.
avert it, because
Just keep
God
praying.
is showing you the vision so,
So
that you can avert it.
Exactly.
Yes, hallelujah,
So,
amen.
Praise the Lord.
Just in case you have plans. Hey!
Thank you for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed making this episode. I want to actually get into a place where we're going to be sharing some more juicy discussions, and I'd like to invite you back, right?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Any questions, just leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you with this. And I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!
Bye.